Mays and J-Raff Show is brought to you in part by Mays Sandwich Shop, serving delicious hometown favorites to the West Lawn community since 1947. You are listening to the Joe Mays and J-Raff Show, bringing you the latest news and commentary on baseball.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Hockey.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Flyers are going to win the Stanley Cup. The Flyers win the Stanley Cup.
College football.
The Big Ten championship lies on a measurement.
Did he get it? No! He didn't get it! Penn State home!
They brought back the fun, they brought back the excitement, and now they've brought back a Big Ten championship. The Penn State Nittany Lions are Big Ten champions.
And the NFL.
He's in! Patriots win the Super Bowl! Brady has his fifth! What a comeback!
Now, here are your hosts, Joe Mays and Justin Raffoff.
You know, in about a month, we can change that intro. We hopefully no longer have to listen to the Patriots being Super Bowl champions again.
Yeah, Nick Foles leads the Eagles to the first one.
All right, well, let's not get crazy here.
Let's not be ridiculous.
Yeah. So, welcome back, everyone, to the Joe Mays and J-Raff Show. We took over a month hiatus, which wasn't completely planned. Just some things came up before the holidays. We decided to scrap a show, and then because of when the holidays fell, we knew we were going to miss a few weeks. But we haven't had a show since early December, so hope everyone had a great holiday season, great Christmas, and a great New Year's, and all that's involved with the holidays. We missed a lot of the end of the regular season action around the NFL, and we all know that today was Wild Card Weekend, and we're going to talk about that as well as the regular season and revisit our preseason predictions and see how we fared. We like to go back and have a little accountability for what we said would happen versus what actually happened. I think, like every year, it's a mixed bag.
Yeah, I agree. I know there are some that we were pretty correct on, and then there were others that we kind of missed on, and not just with division winners, but some of the teams that regressed. You know, sometimes hit some of those. So yeah, it's kind of fun to look back and kind of see how those things go.
We do also have two emails to talk about, and they are both from my Uncle Rich in Massachusetts, and obviously it's going to be football related, and we'll get to that in just a little bit. But first off, I do want to say congratulations to Justin for beating me in fantasy football. It required the 2 weeks that our fantasy championship allows, and I went into week 17 of the NFL season, week 2 of the championship with a 13-point cushion. Justin ended up winning by 26 that week to have a 13-point cushion himself. And if I would have played Juju Smith-Schuster, I would have won. So I am kicking myself over the decisions, and I blame this completely on Adam because he makes he's not the same as talking to you about fantasy because Adam has led me down the wrong path on multiple occasions.
See, it's funny because I sent you a text, I think leading up to the second week, just saying it's awful that I don't know who to text, so I will talk to Adam because I see him every day. I'll talk to him about those matchups, but I don't really need to text him often about it unless something's happening crazy on the weekend. But you, usually I see you on the weekend, so
right.
I usually am texting you during the week.
Time.
Except I couldn't do that because I was playing you in the championship.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't lead you wrong. No. So, yeah, congratulations.
As I told you to play Juju, hoping he wasn't going to play.
The Week 17 bothers me just because the reason I didn't play Juju is because your quarterback didn't play.
Right. Right. And when I look at that, was actually my third quarterback of the actually no, my fourth, because I started with a quarterback, then I
Who
traded
did you start with?
I think I had Eli or someone like
wow.
bad.
Oh.
Yeah, someone who's really bad. And then I traded for Deshaun Watson.
Right. Then he got injured like 2
he
weeks
got
later.
injured. I had him for 2 weeks. He got injured. Then I traded for Ben Roethlisberger, and he was great. Like that was a great trade. That worked out for me. I traded Adam for that, so you can thank him on that end of that too.
That's a lot, Adam.
But then he sat out week 17, so I had picked up Case Keenum, who did a serviceable job.
He did well enough. He did well enough, yeah. So, second straight year, I lose in the championship to one of my best friends, because last year it was Greg. This year it's you, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
This is the thanks you get for running the league.
Yeah, right? So now I think, this was, I think, year 13 over.
Something crazy, yeah.
I've won 2 championships and have played in 6, but I've lost my last 4.
You've become the Bills.
So I lost to you a few years ago. I lost to my uncle a few years ago. I lost to Greg last year. I lost to you this year. But enough with that fantasy league. We actually were runners-up in another league, and that league had a little bit of a
incentive,
payout for it. So I am happy that we were able to
be honest,
to win that one.
So in your league, we were the top 2 seeds.
Yes,
and we advanced, and it played out. It
exactly how
chalk.
Yeah.
That was not the case in the other league.
We
had no business.
In.
No business being where we were.
Squeaked into the other league as a 6th seed, and probably didn't even deserve to be the 6th seed. It's just we got lucky at the right times, and then we won our first 2 playoff games to make the final. But it finally caught up with us, and we got beat up pretty good.
Yeah.
But hey, I was happy to be in the final in the championship with the team that we had been riding all year. So yeah.
Oh man.
But another fantasy year comes to a close as the regular season ended last weekend. But before we get into my uncle's emails, why don't we throw up the contact information, because we haven't done that in a little bit. So we'll pull that up there for you, and Justin will get you started with that one.
Yeah. So we're recapping kind of what we've seen yesterday and today. If there's other things you want to talk about that you kind of saw throughout the year, or questions that you may have, please contact the show. We'd love to have your take or your questions. You can call us on the Mays Sandwich Shop hotline at 530-563-6297. Again, 530-563-6297. You can also email the show anytime at joemaysandjraff@gmail.com. Again, joemaysandjraff@gmail.com. And Joey will tell you how to find us, where you can like and share. Right?
Yeah, like and share. Our social media is the best place to do that, and you can do so on Facebook, where we're broadcasting live, or on Twitter at Joe Mays and J-Raff. Also hit up our website. You can find the Joe Mays and J-Raff show on jmnjrradio.com. All right, so let's check out these emails that we got here from my Uncle Rich in Massachusetts. This one comes all the way back on December 16th. We were going to do it on the show on the 17th, I believe.
Yeah.
And we just couldn't get it done. So apologies for...
some things popped up.
Yeah.
And weren't able to get that one.
So apologies for this one sitting around for a while. We did let him know, and we wanted his take on another thing that happened this week. Right. So we actually have 2 emails.
There's some good things in here that are still perfectly good. So.
Yeah. So let me start here quoting the email. Good morning, Patriot haters.
That's us.
That is us.
Yeah, he nailed that part.
After watching episode 249, I would like to make a couple of comments. Gronk was suspended, and he should have been. If you remember back now over a month plus, Patriots-Bills, Gronk went after one of the defensive backs of Buffalo after the whistle and completely, ridiculously kind of speared a guy into the ground, injuring him. He says, Uncle Rich continues, I think one game was enough for losing your cool after being held most of the game. I know you would all like more since he is one of our best players and would make life easier for you. Take the Miami game as example. But 16 games is a little overboard, Joey, since you only get 6 games for beating up your girlfriend, a.k.a. Ezekiel Elliott. And Justin, making a deflated football comment on the defensive back laying on the football. Yes, I caught it. Now, this will be a tough week if my Pats lose to the Steelers after losing to the Dolphins. I know one Mays family will be very happy, right, Kelly? If that does happen, Merry Christmas to you all. Well, it should have happened, but it didn't.
Yeah.
Justin, I was very sorry to see Carson Wentz go down. I was really looking forward to another New England-Philadelphia Super Bowl, especially with comments from you guys. Is there any team that you would root for the Patriots to beat? Well, I mean, just 2 years ago. Yeah, no, 3 years ago? Well, whenever the Patriots and Seahawks played, I actually rooted for the Patriots that year. So this year, I don't think so.
Left? I don't know. It's really tough for me now because and he nails it on the Patriot haters part, but that's not really a secret. But like part of it was like, I was trying to use Patriots' shortcomings, as far and few between as they are, to actually kind of be the justification for like hate just here and there, like spotting certain things and using them to justify everything. That's not a logical fallacy at all.
No.
But in reality, like I have nothing left now. Like I could sit here and argue that Tom Brady's not like the greatest or whatever, but like already has the numbers that like if you're going to make the argument, you can do it. So I'm not all that concerned with it anymore. In these playoffs, though, he's not going to be. The Patriots aren't going to go up against Dallas. Like I'd root for the Patriots over Dallas.
Right.
I would root for the Patriots over the Giants again. At this point, I'd probably root for the Patriots over the Redskins. I don't know. Like it's hard to say. Like Patriots Steelers is right up there with like I don't want anyone to win. Does that make sense? Like, and I don't really know, except for the fact that like my wife will be happy if the Steelers win, so that I have that going for me. If the Steelers win, like I can't really root against that because that's not going to end well.
Yeah, that wouldn't go well.
Right. So like I talk about, there are only a couple times that I've actually really cheered for the Steelers, like in the last 15 years or whatever. But a couple of them have been like when I was at the Steelers games because
Right.
I was driving home from Pittsburgh after both of those. Like I sincerely wanted them to win. One, it had no bearing on the Eagles. They were playing the Bengals both times. The other time, I wanted Jamie to be happy because if she's not happy for that ride home, that just makes that long drive home even longer. Right. So, but like Steelers, Patriots, I'm never going to admit to that, Rich, but you might have me at least not rooting against them. Does that make sense?
Caring.
But it pretty much would have to be like the Dallases and stuff like that.
Complete apathy.
Right, yeah. I'm just thankful they can't play for the Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah.
But, yes. So, to answer that question, there are a select few teams
but
in
not
select
this year.
few situations, but it's probably not going to happen this year. I can't picture, unless, like, so if, like, just for example, if Atlanta goes to Philly next week and there's, like, some, like, really cheap, dirty play or something, I don't know, or, like, they just, like, trash talk the city or something like that could maybe, like, but
yeah,
it would
that's
be
true.
hard.
Something could pop up.
But, like, with Wentz being out already, it's hard for me to imagine something like that happening. Unless somebody just, like, completely, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, I understand.
Like, if like, a tight end, like, dove on a safety who was on the ground or something like that and gave him a concussion after
right,
the play,
yeah,
like,
I mean, that's just
that
ridiculous.
might get me worked up, but
Totally.
Anything short of that probably not going to work.
So, I don't believe there's any way I'm going to root for the Patriots this year. I don't see it. I don't dislike any of the NFC teams enough, because spoiler if you don't know what the hell the game's ended, if sports spoilers are a thing, but it's Falcons, Eagles, and Saints, Vikings.
If it would have been Patriots, Panthers,
I'd root for the Panthers.
Okay, I didn't know. I know some people are really caught up on the not liking the Panthers, so like I didn't
really.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
I know I
feel like they kind of substitute for the Seahawks for some people.
I had my ups and downs and backs and forth with Cam Newton.
No,
but
I get it.
I mean,
I get it. But
not
it's
enough.
Not the same.
Yeah,
right? No, I get it. Because I'm not that way. But yeah.
Yeah. So Rich just finishes his his email with whatever. Thanks for another very good year. Very good. We don't even get a great.
I know.
We don't even get a great. He does say Merry Christmas to you all and Happy New Year, and your New England Patriots connection, Rich. So I think we addressed that one pretty well. Before we go on, we got another one from him, and this was solicited by us because we wanted to know his thoughts on the ESPN article that came out suggesting that the end of the Patriots' big three, Kraft, Belichick, and Brady, could be pending or happening as soon as this offseason, whenever the Patriots are out of the playoffs, if we'd be so blessed for that to happen soon. And, well, let's see what he has to say. Happy New Year to the Joe Mays and J-Raff show. A couple of things for your show. It is playoff time, and since I am retired, I have plenty of time to track things such as your and my early season picks. So let's see. Oh, good, he did this for us.
I know.
Let's see how we did. Actually, I'm going to skip down because
we'll come back.
That actually helps us a lot because I was going to try to do from memory. So he is a dedicated listener.
He is.
Okay.
I figured you had seen this.
I didn't. I didn't open it up.
That's awesome.
Now on to the problem in paradise for Patriot Nation. Do we have a major problem? I don't think so. Are some people upset? I would say yes. I believe the Belichick saw we had with Garoppolo and didn't want to lose him. But how do you get rid of your current quarterback who could be the MVP of the league this year and the next couple of years? Jimmy wanted a chance to play, and how do you pay a backup quarterback $25 million a year? Now, according to the article, I think it was going to be $17 or $18 million a year. So, if you have a problem with those, $7 or $8 million.
But he could force their hand.
Well, true. And there's a whole bunch.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he's about to sign for a lot more than 17 or 18 million.
Yes, he is. For the three of
he's
them,
he's going to be making a lot more than Tom Brady next year, even in San Francisco. He is. It's going to be nuts.
Rich continues, for the three of them, the most important thing is for the team to win, and they do. I do think that Kraft and Brady are closer than Kraft and Bill, but I can't see how Kraft could ever tell Bill to do anything he didn't want to do. After the season is over, the real truth may come out. Can't see Brady playing for anybody but the Patriots or Belichick. I hear rumors of Belichick retiring after this year. If he does, then you know something happened. I hear that he's letting his two top assistants taking head coaching jobs. If they all leave at the same time, you guys will get your wish. Patriots for the taking. That's not how it works. Once again, keep up the good work. I love your show even when we disagree, which is most of the time. Pats fan, currently in Florida, Rich. So, yes, thank you. I mean, we'll touch real quickly on the Patriots drama. We both, after reading the article, agreed that we side with Belichick in this matter. I think it makes Brady look bad, but, I mean, we already had kind of a prima donna outlook on Tom Brady and his entitlement.
Right, we do. Some people take him as, like, the everybody, everybody
every
like
man
person. Yeah, I'm like,
no way.
Tom Brady?
Maybe 15 years ago, like when he first bought like
Michigan Tom Brady, like guy who's not good enough to start on your Division I football team and gets benched. Lots of us aren't good enough to be the starting quarterback on the Michigan.
Guilty,
right? Not a Michigan quarterback, But like after that, pretty much.
I'd say through the 06 season, people but then when 07 happened. I think that went out the window and it was lost forever.
Yes.
So,
he threw 54 touchdowns.
But we also weren't fans of Belichick either. Not as a coach, just like kind of the way he handled himself.
Yeah.
It just
because we always were like, if the deal were to get him as the Eagles coach or the Dolphins coach, I would do it in a heartbeat.
I mean, same thing with Brady at quarterback, though, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean, he's part of the system.
Their antics on the field or in press conferences or about all the hoopla off the field, the scandals and the cheating, if I need to put it in quotations, depending on how you look at it. Just the stuff that was said sometimes just was kind of like you just roll your eyes. And Robert Kraft kind of alluded to it in the article, basically saying he shouldn't have done what he did surrounding Deflategate because he was sticking up for his team and the image of the fans.
Right, he was speaking up for his
players. Which I get. Like, I don't blame him for it.
We talk about the business aspect of it all the time. He knows, like, why wouldn't I just go out there and say to the fans who are buying my stuff whatever they want to hear?
Yeah, you're going to get them be more rabid than they already were.
Right.
And they're just going to continue to support you in so many different ways, mostly ending with more money in Robert Kraft's bank account. So, yeah, I don't blame him one minute for doing what he did. Now, the other owners, Goodell and all his other cronies there, I don't know. Yeah. But, anyways, long-winded way of saying I take Belichick's side, and if all the drama in Wickersham's article from ESPN are right, I I don't really my opinion on Kraft hasn't changed,
He's the owner.
and I side with Belichick in all this drama. I think he comes out looking better than Tom does.
Right, and I think he's gonna probably, if I have to pick, he's probably the one based on the evidence that you have. And I'm not just talking the article, but just like the way things have gone over the course of the career. It wouldn't surprise me. And there was some. It's interesting that he wrote this email because there was some talk from Rex Ryan, who doesn't really have great insight, but that coaching fraternity, people think of those. It's kind of weird. Like there are more connections there than people actually tend to realize. He wouldn't be surprised at all if Belichick walks away completely, after this year and is just like, I'm done. He's not young anymore, so like it's not.
Is he in his 70s, early 70s?
I think he's 70. Yeah.
Okay.
So like, if he wanted to walk away, like there's nothing wrong with walking away.
He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, probably unanimous.
And
if that's even
it'll
a
draw
thing.
attention because it's this, and everybody thinks they can kind of keep it going. But they are in a position where they're going to lose both coordinators and head coach, most likely. I shouldn't say head coach, but they very well may lose both coordinators. If they also lost the head coach.
McDaniels and Patricia.
Right. If they also lost the head coach, it would be really interesting because at some point, and the article alludes to this and some other things allude to this, like, yes, Tom Brady can still perform really well, but there are times where the ends are kind of justifying the means, and so, like, the attention to detail, like, the little things aren't necessarily all there like they used to be. Now, they're still the vast majority, and enough to win and be the top seed in the AFC are there. But how much of that goes away the minute some of these guys step out and leave? If it just seems like, imagine, for instance, if they all walk away, the coordinators get other jobs, Belichick walks away, Brady does have a down year next year because he's 41.
42 at the time, right?
And all of a sudden, Belichick comes out looking like roses because, hey, it's him. And not that it tarnishes Brady, but like, because at that age, people will just be like, oh, it's just him getting old. But like, it would be interesting how that would retroactively change how people look at the whole situation.
It'll be interesting in retrospect, in a decade from now, because, we probably still
it's going to make a great 30 for 30. There's a whole bunch of 30 for 30s that'll be great on this one.
Probably have 2 to 5 years of at least one of them being with the Patriots, I would maybe not 2. I don't know. Maybe if Belichick walks away this year, who knows? But I'd say at least another year, 2, maybe even upwards of 5 for them to be around. But then when things advance, look back on, did this moment, getting rid of Garoppolo, hanging on to taking Brady's side, maybe Belichick leaving, walking away, a decade from now, are the Patriots going to be a bottom feeder because they couldn't find someone to take over for Brady? Is that going to happen? If they don't have a successor for Brady, Belichick retires or leaves or whatever, are they going to become... Is the Patriot way over?
Yeah,
like, is it an organizational thing, or is it a Belichick-Brady thing?
Right. I think it's a Belichick, an organizational thing.
At this point, yes.
He runs the organization. Like, I know he's not technically in charge of everything, but nothing happens there without him knowing. Right.
Which is why people got all up in arms about Deflategate and the balls and the equipment guys.
Because nothing happens
gets
without
past
him.
Right.
Except they kind of talk about how like Brady has kind of like done more and more and more
on his own or without getting he asked for forgiveness, not permission.
Right. Which also that whole like TB12 stuff, that's weird stuff, man.
Freaking jacked up.
Yeah. Like
a con artist, essentially, is what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do an entire show just on that, but we don't want to spend any more time on the Kraft, Belichick, Brady thing. You should read the ESPN article, and I know the Patriots fans that I've talked to, besides my uncle, they're not anti-Belichick, but they're all in on Brady. Like, they think he's God. So, you can't even have like a much of a conversation with them because if there's anything against Brady, they don't want to hear it.
Right.
Which I get to some extent, but
right.
You got to stay grounded a little bit and recognize when there's some issues arising. So my dad's been texting. he wanted to let you know on the record, like he said last night, that the Eagles are going to be one and done, and they'll have as many playoff victories as the Cowboys did this year.
Fair enough.
He also says he's all NFC this year for sure because he doesn't want to see New England or Pittsburgh win. So
Even if the Eagles get there.
well, yeah, he already. Well, now Wentz
doesn't
isn't
think it's
the
gonna happen.
quarterback,
Right,
but I
right.
think still the allure of a Wentz team.
Right.
I guess if the Eagles, but he's also. I don't think he's banking on the Eagles making it. I'm pretty sure he's thinking it's Vikings, Falcons, or Saints.
Probably a safe bet, yeah.
All right, so let's quickly recap our preseason picks and the results from the regular season before we do quick recaps of the wild card weekend. And thanks to my uncle, we have it all laid out right here in front of us.
I'm gonna have to give him some kind of research position here.
Right? Yeah, he's going to be an adjunct
Yeah.
or an emeritus.
Emeritus, definitely emeritus.
Okay. All right. So my division winners. Well, let's start. We'll go NFC, and we did it NFC West first, so that's what we'll do. I had Seahawks as my
Yeah.
NFC West division winner. You also
So did
had
I.
the Seahawks, and so did my uncle. So
Yep.
we were all wrong on that. I mean, I don't think too many people saw the Rams coming out of nowhere like this.
Not like that, no. I kind of thought maybe they'd be better, but
Yeah.
not like this.
We all were pretty much together that we thought the 49ers would be bad, and they were until they got Garoppolo. We were still high on the Seahawks, and the Seahawks were close to making the wild card, and they were hanging tough, but they just couldn't do it. The Rams just too much, although their
And-
inexperience came back to bite them yesterday.
I feel like the Cardinals were pretty much what we thought they would be.
Yeah, taking a step back, and now Arians is retiring, and Carson Palmer is retiring, so it could be a long season for the Cardinals next year as well, especially if the Seahawks rebound and the Rams are for real.
Yeah.
So didn't get that one right. Not awful, though, because the Seahawks were still in contention. AFC West, I went with the Chiefs. That's a winner for me. You went with the Raiders, and my uncle did as well.
And they had that regression that you called. You called that. You were like, they won a lot of close games last year. Everything kind of went right for them until the very end.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't go that way. But now they have the answer, right? $100 million coach.
Completely, yeah. Chucky. So I got that one. That's the first one that I've gotten right, and I think, I did have the Raiders as a wild card though. I said that they would be a little bit worse. I didn't think they would win the division, but I still thought they would be in contention for the wild card, which they were. They just didn't make it.
Right.
And you and my uncle had the Chiefs as a wild card.
Right.
So I nailed it. You guys were close. And let's see. Let's go NFC South. I whiffed on this one. I went with Tampa Bay,
I
which they
wanted
finished
to,
last.
but I didn't have the guts to do it.
You went with Atlanta. Didn't get it, but they made the playoffs. My uncle did as well. Went with the Falcons. So made the wild card. Didn't win the division, but none of us called the Saints.
Right.
We all whiffed on the Saints.
Yeah, I kind of thought that was going to be the last year of that, and now it looks like
a complete
they're
180
going to try and
change
keep
there.
that thing together, I'm assuming.
I'm interested to see if that can hang for another year.
So the interesting thing there is how many draft picks they have going. So, like, all those guys are on rookie deals,
Right.
but how much can you pay Drew Brees? I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. I'm just saying, like, that's the one.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there with that. So Saints are your NFC South division winner. You both had the Falcons winning, but they made the playoffs. We were all cool on the Saints, and I don't think any of us had the Panthers making it this year. I think
No.
we all said that they would be,
Right.
fighting for a
Yep.
wild card, but we didn't think they'd get it, but they did. So AFC South, we had all had the Titans winning. Now we weren't necessarily. We didn't whiff on that one,
Right.
Because they made the wild card barely, but they made it. But none of us saw the Jaguars winning that division. We thought it would be Titans.
I kind of
Texans.
thought they'd get better, but I didn't think they'd win the division. Texans. I thought Deshaun Watson,
which while he was playing,
and all of a sudden, man, you project forward to next year. That could be exciting. That AFC South, Colts. Good luck with that rebuild.
Yeah.
You better hope Andrew Luck's arm is okay. Otherwise, you're just going to get beat up on for the next 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, could be a problem. So all went with the Titans. They made it as a wild card. None of us saw I think we all thought the Jags would be better, but we didn't think that they could possibly win the division. I mean, there are games that they probably shouldn't have lost to get to 10-6. They could have been better than that, and we'll see who they, how good they really are if they can beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh twice in the same season. Which I think
you earn it if you do that.
Yeah, hasn't been done by a non-AFC North team probably in a long time. So let's check out the NFC North. I went with the Lions. Nope. You went with the Packers. Nope. And I believe my uncle went with the Packers. So we're all wrong there. None of us saw the Vikings winning the division, let alone making the wild card, let alone winning the division.
Yeah.
So we little surprise there. We weren't sure, I guess, the loss of Adrian Peterson, what's going on with Sam Bradford, all those, legitimate concerns.
Yep.
But Case Keenum played like an all-star quarterback, and they got production from a rookie for the first few weeks of the season at running back in Dalvin Cook, and then Latavius Murray, and Jerick McKinnon picked up the slack after he went out, and that defense has been playing lights out for much of the season. One of the big reasons that they're the second seed in the NFC. So we all whiffed on the NFC North. And yeah, my uncle actually had the Lions as a wild card as well. So, yep, Detroit, they were a tough one. I think, man, that one against Atlanta still bothers me. That one still bothers me.
So I've been asking people about this. I don't understand. Maybe it's because the play was overturned, but I'm not exactly sure what it was. At the end of that game, right?
The clock run off?
The clock run off 10 seconds. There was only 8 seconds left. They had ruled Golden Tate, I believe, down at the 1 inch line,
yeah.
Right, instead of scoring a touchdown, game over because of the 10-second runoff. Last night, in the Rams playoff game, right before halftime, with 22 seconds left, they completed a bomb to like the 5-yard line. Before they can run the next play, clock's running, the Rams have no timeouts. So clock's running, it is reviewed and upheld. Now, is it because it was upheld that there was no 10-second runoff? Why was there not a 10-second runoff there? Because they stopped the clock to review when there was no stoppage of the clock and no timeout. Like, what is the difference between that, other than the overturn? Like, it has to be the overturn, right?
That's the correlation,
right?
Yeah.
Like that has to be it. But like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I bothers me, and I have no
either.
idea. Right? I don't know who would even know the answer that I can get that answer from. You know what I mean? Like, the people that know that answer, I don't really have a way to ask them. But yeah, like it bothered me because I didn't understand why there wasn't a 10-second runoff there when there was for the Lions, except for the only difference I can really note is that the Lions call was overturned, whereas the Rams one was upheld.
Right.
So like, because it was upheld, like, I guess technically you're like, well, there shouldn't have been a stoppage. Whereas in the Lions one, you're like, there should be a stoppage because the call was wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll get Dean Blandino on the phone.
Yeah.
So, AFC North. This one was easy. We all got it right. Pittsburgh. Baltimore had its moments, but then choked and didn't even make the playoffs in the end. Bengals regressed, and the Browns were they were worse than the normal Browns. Yes. They just celebrated their own 16th season with a parade, so that tells you everything you need to know about the state of Cleveland football. So, last, NFC East, I should have gone with my gut. I shouldn't say my gut, because my gut was saying Giants, but when we talked on the show, I had Dallas second, and did I want to go with Giants first, Eagles third, or Eagles first, Giants third? I should have gone with Eagles first, Giants third, because Giants finished fourth as the second worst team in all of football. The Cowboys did finish second, but the Eagles came in first with the Redskins in third. And hey, you and I went with the Giants
because they had all the makings. They went like 11-5 last year or something like that. Like,
and but Uncle Rich had the Cowboys. I believe that's what it says there.
Yeah.
So
I did have the Eagles as the wild card.
You did have Eagles in the wild card. I had Cowboys as a wild card, so I missed on that. You got Eagles in the playoffs. I really wish I would have gone with that and said Eagles in first. But hey, there's always next year. So next would be AFC East. This one was also pretty easy. We all picked the Patriots. Don't think any of us had.
Because if you don't get to pick anymore.
Right. I don't think any of us had any other AFC East teams in the playoffs. So we missed on the Bills.
Okay, so right now, I know it's impossible based on all the other factors. If the Patriots were to lose all three coaches, both coordinators and head coach, Brady's back, who do you pick in the AFC East next year? I know it's impossible, and there's a million variables between now and then. But
I'm still picking the Patriots
So am I.
because I don't know.
okay, so maybe they don't go 13-3.
Maybe
or
they go 10-6,
14-2.
but are any of the other teams going to?
Yeah.
Could you guarantee that any of the other three teams would get to 10 wins?
You
None
think-
of them could do it this
Right?
year.
You think the Bills are getting to 11-5? I don't think so. So
It's
Yeah.
still crazy to me that the Bills were even in the playoffs. I mean, if it wasn't elite Joe Flacco and the Ravens choking against the crappy Bengals team, how about all the charity money that Bills fans donated to Andy Dalton and what was the receiver that caught it? Boyd, was it Tyler Boyd
yeah,
from
well,
Pittsburgh?
probably, yeah.
All the money given to their charitable foundations, thanking them for getting the Bills to the
Hey,
playoffs.
at least there was a good thing coming.
Oh
out
yeah,
of it.
yeah. Well, whatever. I mean,
But-
it doesn't matter to me, and I don't like the Ravens, so I'm glad they weren't in the playoffs anyways. So, especially because the Bills haven't been there this millennium.
Yeah. Still haven't scored a touchdown this millennium in the playoffs. So.
Although I believe New Year's Eve was 17 years
Yeah.
since Miami last won a playoff
Oh,
game, so
oh.
it's not. I mean, they've been there, but they haven't won a playoff game since I think New Year's Eve 2000.
Well, I think this the last time the Bills had been in was the Music City Miracle, wasn't it? I think that was the last
Was
time
that
the Bills made the
99?
playoffs. Yeah,
Hmm.
I think.
That was totally a backwards lateral. I don't know what Adam and the Bills fans.
And Gravity and Earth. Gravity didn't have anything to do with it. But, man, yeah.
So our wild cards, mine were Packers wrong, Cowboys wrong, Texans wrong, Raiders wrong. All missed. Yours were Tampa Bay wrong, Eagles division champ, Texans wrong, Chiefs division champ. So two out of 4 there, not so bad. They both won the division though. And I think the only ones different was my uncle had Detroit in instead of Tampa Bay, but he went with Eagles, Texans, and Chiefs. So also 2 in and 2 out for him as well. So we were pretty even.
Yeah.
Because I got the Chiefs right, but you had the Chiefs going in. We nailed Patriots, Steelers. We all got Titans.
Yeah.
Not the division champ.
That they were in, though.
So I'd say pretty even. We were probably below 50% when it all comes down to it, though, right?
Right.
So not a great year, but we were all pretty much right in the same vicinity. Now, our Super Bowl was Giants-Patriots for me. Yours was Packers-Patriots, and his was Patriots-Packers. So unless the Patriots make it, we all whiffed in a big way.
Yeah, I think we're all still have a decent shot at 50%. There.
Yeah.
The Patriots have a legitimate shot, but yeah, NFC we missed pretty bad considering neither of the teams that Rich, you or I picked made the playoffs. So.
Yeah. So, all right, real quickly here, we're going to run through the 4 wildcard playoff games that were played yesterday and today, starting with the first game yesterday evening, the Titans at the Chiefs. And this one, well, everything was coming up rosy for the home team at the beginning. They're actually up at one point 21-3. And,
Yep.
well, if if you've been listening to anything we've said so far, you know that lead was not big enough. And I believe, was it Kansas City's last 2 home playoff games, or is it just 2 of their last few home playoff games were massive
they've blown
surrendering leads?
The other 18-point lead that they blew was at
28.
28.
28.
Oh,
It's 28 points.
was at Indianapolis.
Oh, was that at Indy? Okay.
Yes. However, because the Chiefs were a wild card that year, I believe to the Broncos. I think. However, when you look at it, they also had a chance to beat the Steelers last year and didn't. The Steelers
Yeah, that
didn't
was in
produce.
Kansas City.
Steelers had guys hurt, from the Bengals fiasco the week before.
They've
Yeah.
lost 6 straight
The
home
last
playoff games.
The last quarterback for the Chiefs to win a home playoff game,
Joe Montana. 1994.
Yes. But until week 17, I know you're seeing some of the highlights here, but until week 17, the last quarterback drafted by the Chiefs to win a game for the Chiefs,
No, I don't
you
even
know
that
him. You know him.
I do know him.
I promise you know him.
Drafted by the Chiefs.
Drafted by the Chiefs before we were born.
Well, I was assuming that because... Oh, my gosh.
You let me know when you want me to give you the
Go
answer.
ahead.
Todd Blackledge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Patrick Mahomes won week 17.
Yeah.
So that breaks that streak now. But the playoff one is still going. As you can see, the Chiefs were dominating this game. And the Titans couldn't get anything going. Mariota threw a horrible pick. Now, it was I think Corey Davis did not run full speed, so he should have cleared out. I can't think of the guy's name, 22, I think, or 21 for the Chiefs. One of their big cornerbacks.
Marcus Peters?
Yes. So he should have run him out, but he didn't, and so he was just sitting there. And I know they were talking about. There's a couple calls in this game that people freaked out about, and I get that there was some question about it, but I don't. All right, Kareem Hunt led the league in rushing this year by yards, had 11 carries in the game, 11 touches, including when your team has an 18-point second half lead. Now I know that Tennessee got the ball to start the second half and goes down and scores, but 11.
It seems that as when Kelsey went out with his concussion, things kind of changed.
That's true. Now, they did finish that drive with a touchdown.
True.
But
from there on out.
Right. But, okay, so you don't have your best receiver. Again, another hallmark of an Andy Reid team, not having anybody outside to catch the ball. Your tight ends and your running backs are the only people that can actually do it.
Yep. Yeah, because Tyreek Hill...
I know they call him a wide receiver. He's not. He's a running back.
He's slash.
Right. Yeah.
An all-purpose nightmare.
Right. So that was the terrible pick by Mariota, and you're just thinking okay, But anyway, I just when Tennessee started climbing close, you're like, we've seen this before, and I just this is a Tennessee offense that hasn't put up these kind of numbers most of the year.
Yeah, they've really struggled over the last 5 weeks of the season.
Right, and then they just shredded the Chiefs' defense in the second half.
Yeah, and I saw someone mention that the Chiefs, in the higher statistical platforms. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
In DVOA from Pro Football Focus.
That was one of the things that they talked about because that was ruled forward progress, I believe, on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Pro Football Focus DVOA rankings actually said the Chiefs had the worst rushing defense based on DVOA. And I'm not going to go into explain that because it's upper level stuff. But, there are various forms of statistic out there,
right.
And one of them said that the Chiefs weren't that great defensively, at least against the run. So here we're going to see Travis Kelce take a shot to the head.
Which the NFL said the reason we didn't review this fumble was because we ruled that Kelce recovered the fumble himself. Kelce was knocked out.
Yeah.
But, okay.
Which we saw today.
Right.
As well.
Yes.
So, so approaching halftime, the Chiefs end up scoring here. You'll see it real shortly here. And take the 21-3 lead. And the second half just wasn't kind to them.
No, not at all.
But, how Kansas City was playing in the first half just boggles my mind that they were able to fall apart because they did.
It's one thing to struggle. Maybe they don't get in the end zone. There's no way you shouldn't get at least maybe 2 field goals or something. They scored 21 points. They marched the ball right down the field, including without their tight end, right? Without Kelsey, because we just saw they drove the length of the field on that. They drive right down and score, and then just nothing. Get shut out in the second half. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, somebody I think summed it up. They said Andy Reid and Matt Nagy, I'm Central grad.
Yeah,
have some explaining to do because the play calling on offense, and it's not all play calling. A lot of it's execution too. But man, Mariota just turned into Oregon Mariota in the second half.
Yeah,
just couldn't stop him.
This is a very long highlight film, 13 minutes. So I'm gonna start to skip ahead here.
Wait,
might have to buffer a little
okay.
bit.
Never mind.
What's that?
I was gonna say because I think the Mariota pass to Mariota.
Yeah, I didn't want to miss that, but
it's all right. It's all right. Mariota's first touchdown pass is to.
It might be coming up
Marcus
here on
Mariota.
This drive. Because didn't when it cut it to 21-16, wasn't that
I don't
the
remember.
one? I think so. So hopefully we'll get to see it coming up here. But man, Derrick Henry looked pretty good with. Oh no, he.
There we go.
So,
yeah, Derrick Henry looked really good.
With
really good.
DeMarco Murray out.
Yeah, and there's a lot of talk that DeMarco Murray may be looking. And this was before the game actually, that he may be looking for a new home next year. But yeah, Derrick Henry, who is a beast.
Yeah. Wow. Heisman. Yeah, Heisman winner from Alabama.
Yeah.
Unreal. So what do we make of Tennessee's chances in New England next week? Oh, here's the Anton play.
They didn't
line up,
ruled
did
that
they?
they didn't get set. But I believe it was wrong. They on the replay where they showed it, it looked like they were set to me.
So it was more of the refs not knowing.
Yes.
Well, that sounds familiar.
Yes. But it was poor execution as well. But yeah, so drop pass, what are all the things you need to do in order to blow an 18-point second half playoff lead
Drop
at home?
passes.
At the hardest place.
That was
at the hardest place to
threading the
play.
needle, wow.
Yeah.
Delaney Walker.
Showed up in the second half. Did virtually nothing in the first half. But yeah, I mean, it just started. Yeah. The Chiefs pulled the Chiefs. We're getting no pressure on him in the second half. When they were, he was just running. Yeah, that was 5 yards added on for defensive holding.
There was the touchdown that put them up with 6 minutes to play. And, that was pretty much it. The Chiefs couldn't do anything.
Right.
And
they drove down and got into Tennessee territory, but went for it on 4th and 9.
Is that Eric Decker?
Oh, yeah, he had a bad drop in the first half. He actually had like 8 or 9 drops this year, they said, awful year. Now that's clearly the stop of, and this is one of the calls where people are like, that shouldn't have been.
No,
that's clearly forward progress.
Because
that was a 2-point conversion.
Right.
Kansas City runs that back. It would have been.
No.
I get where people are saying, oh my gosh, but no, it was clearly a stop.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to cut this short here because it's going on quite long, and we have 3 other games to talk about before we want to get out of here. So yeah, the Titans upset the Chiefs. One of our division winners is already gone, and more of the same in the late game, in the NFC game, between the Falcons and the Rams. We talked about the Rams being a surprise team this year.
So, just real quick, I mean, not to jump ahead and interrupt you, which I already did, but both the Chiefs and the Rams sat people last week, right, and rested, and they both lost at home. Whereas the teams today, now they had something to play for, but the Jags didn't really, right? And they played everybody last week. Played awful, but played everybody. And so did the Saints.
Right.
And both those teams won today.
Yeah, it's interesting. Another correlation.
Right,
Whether
absolutely.
Does it mean anything?
Absolutely correlation. But I'm going to make it causation right now.
Sure, why not?
That's how it works, right?
So
cherry pick the things I want and make it prove my point.
That is the way the world works, isn't it? So
and I'll say it loudly.
Yes.
It would be funnier if it wasn't true, but that is the way the world works. But anyway, yeah, this was a crazy game too. Atlanta looked good, not great like world beaters.
Good enough.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at them, man, they have the tools. They've got big-time defensive players. They've got crazy offensive weapons. They've got an MVP-level quarterback.
At times, yeah.
At times. It's crazy. Now, I don't know. They haven't really put it on the field since the first half of the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
So,
because they were world beaters last year during the regular season. Man,
Yeah.
it didn't look like anyone could
No.
stop them. And it looked that way until
and
the second
even
half
through the
in the
playoffs.
Super Bowl.
Remember, the Packers went to Dallas and squeaked out. Aaron Rodgers pulled his magic, They go to Atlanta, and Atlanta just took it to them.
Right.
I mean, whew. Yeah, so.
Let's jump ahead here because I don't have time for 13-minute recaps. So we're in the third quarter now.
I am
Atlanta up
impressed
16-10.
with NFL.com. Yeah, that throw with Jared Goff was amazing. Now, in this game, I picked the Rams.
Yes.
However, this was another game, and this is sketchy, but, if you're still listening, I really hope that the Goff Wentz thing becomes like a fun thing to watch over the next 30 years. All right,
30 years.
So I might be setting it a little high there, but in reality, I hope that becomes a big time NFL. These become like the Sunday night, Monday night games.
Sure.
that are fun to watch, and it's just these two guys going, and they seemingly get paired up every year in the schedule making, all that kind of stuff. That being said, I don't want Goff to get things before Wentz does. Does that make sense? So, with Wentz not having the ability to get some of those things this year, I don't want Goff to get it. While I still am happy to see the Rams getting better, and I love the white and blue helmets with the white face mask.
I just need them to get the gold out of it.
I understand.
Now this look isn't bad.
Right.
It's when they
but
wear
when
their
it's half the St. Louis uniform, half the new uniform.
I wish they would just wear the yellow and blue,
like
Kurt
not
Warner. The navy. Yeah, like the original Kurt Warner, the '99 Rams. I thought that looked awesome. But we get this look for another year.
Yeah,
they're not allowed. They're not changing their uniforms next year. So
in my opinion, they should keep them then until they get the stadium. But that's a few more years. So
no, because then they can sell it when they put a patch on it, and Yeah, so Atlanta went up 19-10 early in the fourth quarter, and the Rams would keep trying, and they're quite a young team when you think about it. I was thinking about this watching the game last night. Say their names of their offensive superstars, and they're just like a who's who of college great over the last 5 years.
Yeah,
in Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, Robert Woods, Sammy Watkins. Everyone forgets the linemen all the time, but those were big names.
So this is another thing
players.
that was brought up a couple weeks ago on one of the radio shows I listen to, like first thing when I get up in the morning. It's Golick Jr., who I know some people are like, oh, you only get that job because of that, but whatever. Like I kind of enjoy him, and he's an offensive lineman, so he talks about some of these things. 2 years ago, one of the biggest free agent acquisitions was. Well, yeah, was Mack. Alex Mack went to the Falcons.
From the Browns to the Falcons.
The next 2 years, they've had good offensive line play. Last year, Whitworth went to the Rams. Biggest offensive line acquisition, I should clarify that. He's a tackle,
I believe.
He is. I think he plays left tackle.
Yeah.
And a combination of other things, but the two teams that have made the biggest signings in terms of offensive line free agents
have
done something, and so it's just an interesting thing to see. That they aren't necessarily the names that the casual fan's gonna pick out, but
correlation hat trick right there.
Yes. And we're only through the Saturday game, so I can maybe get you some more in the next couple. Yeah, but that was a beautiful throw.
That was a beautiful play.
Oh my gosh, Julio, man.
Well, they didn't use him much in the first half. People were like, what are you doing with Julio Jones? Yeah, which he still was top 4 receiving or something like that.
He didn't get a touchdown until halfway through the season, and he's still one of the best receivers.
I remember sitting in my apartment in Indiana watching Saturday football, Alabama and Georgia, and thinking, wow. And then I think this was when they were either freshmen or sophomores. It was their first or second year in college football, so they weren't eligible for the draft yet. But I remember being like, wow, when Jones and A.J. Green come out, two teams are going to be lucky to have them.
Yeah.
And it's been exactly what I expected.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes there are these college players that you think are going to be great, and they bomb, but A.J. Green and Julio Jones have not been
and it's funny
that at all.
because, like, Alabama is not the spread, gun it everywhere kind of thing. Their receivers need to have the full package, which shockingly translates to the NFL.
Right.
Like, now, not everyone, but, like, when you're a star wide receiver at Alabama, it has maybe correlated better to an NFL career than the other positions that they've had during this 10-year college football
domination,
run, like, because we've seen some of the linemen have been misses and things like that. Yeah,
I thought it was a touchdown until I saw that angle.
yeah, no. Same when you were watching it last night too. You knew it, but that makes it tough. But
so the Rams, I believe they do score here, do they not?
no,
They do not. Was it? Oh yeah, you're right. For some reason I was thinking it was 26-19. Yeah, so the Falcons beat the Rams here. This last shot here by Goff on 4th and 6. It's interesting. I believe Robert Woods and Sammy Watkins were both Buffalo Bills wide receivers, and now here they are in the playoffs with the Rams. So I highly doubt that we're seeing a flash in the pan from the Rams.
no, I think they're
young.
building. Yeah,
Yeah, I think there's a good opportunity for them to make some noise, especially if the Seahawks are in decline.
which is hard to argue they're not.
Because there's some saying that Cam Chancellor will never be the same, and Richard Sherman's obviously not what he was a few years ago.
They're all getting older. Like, think about it. Think about when was the Seahawks Super Bowl? That was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, so, that sounds crazy, but 5-6 years
Right.
for positions other than quarterback, that can be your career, man. Like,
Yeah.
that's it.
You're
Like,
right about that.
and certainly the prime. So
We're going to pick up the Sunday games really late here, so we're going to go fourth quarter already.
Fortunately,
with Bills,
I am
Jaguars.
stunned that they found 13 minutes and 45 seconds of stuff to show from the Bills-Jaguars game.
Yeah, it was not an offensive showcase, that's for sure.
I did retweet the if this is the game we get on Monday night in the college championship, we'll just get a 3-hour lecture on how great SEC defense is.
So, Bills, Jaguars, both defenses doing quite well. Although
And they did, the defenses do play well.
The Jaguars have a great defense. Buffalo's offense is hit or miss. Jacksonville, same thing with their offense, but Buffalo's defense made them look even worse.
The problem is, if you watch the first quarter of the Saints game, which was on after this, you saw Drew Brees make more good throws in a quarter with 3 minutes of time possession than Bortles and Tyrod Taylor have probably all
Peterman.
year. Yeah, that's true.
We're going to see that here in a little bit.
Yeah, that was... Oof.
Yeah. And I do like the Bills uniforms. I like the look of them when they changed a few years ago.
But here, it's coming up, and it's not going to be good.
No, yeah. Tyrod Taylor is going to once again get I think it's this play, yeah. He's going to have to scramble, and he's going to get hit right there. He gets thrown into the grass. And he is, they're not going to show the angle, but I'm pretty sure he was unconscious when...
you see the locked arms, that they're up, like your central nervous system has taken over to kind of protect you from your fall, usually. Peterman comes in. He does get the first down. They do make a completion after this.
We're going to see, though, another quasi-controversial ending to this game, or what basically ended the game, I should say, is coming up probably on the next highlight, I would guess.
Yeah.
Or no, maybe not.
I think this is it.
Is it this one?
Yeah.
I thought they were deeper.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
they were definitely deeper into Jacksonville territory. Because they were driving. They got down there, and could be this play or the next one. is going to be the end of essentially the end of the Bills' season on the next pass.
Oh,
They
yeah,
call
that's intentional
grounding on that.
which
Yeah.
it is, yep.
Yeah, they're going to call grounding on that. Although I think he was saying he was throwing as he's being tackled. He wasn't trying to throw it because he was being tackled.
Right. But see, I don't know that it matters.
Right.
I don't think it does. Yeah.
So, I'm guessing it's this throw right here.
Yeah.
That is going to be picked off. Is it Jalen Ramsey?
Yes, it is.
He makes a great play on the ball.
Right.
Closes fast, makes the pick. They do review it. You could argue.
So when I
that
saw it, I
part
got
of
up
the
and
ball-
walked to the kitchen because I was like, oh, he picked it, game. I should know better in the NFL today.
You could argue that it looks like part of the ball touches the grass, but to me, it's an interception.
And it's allowed to touch the grass. It's about whether he maintains control and,
right,
quote unquote, survives the ground.
right, whatever. So, I think it's this angle you kind of see. Well, it's a little too fast. It was hard to tell. So they're not going to show all the slow.
Now
replays
I
that we
get
saw
if I'm
live.
Buffalo, I'm really mad because something that looked more like a catch than that was ruled incomplete a couple weeks ago when you were playing the Patriots. And that's what I said to you, in the text, was I have no problem. We both said we have no problem with that being ruled a catch and an interception.
Right.
The problem is when it's truly a 50-50. Like when you watch that and you have no idea, and it's not just that play. It's every time they review a catch, every time you have zero idea of whether or not what they're going to say. Now, that's not to say the rule isn't clear, because when we saw the play a few weeks ago when Jesse James rolled in the end zone, I think it was you and I don't know, but we might have discussed this later. As soon as I saw it, I knew it wasn't a touchdown because of the way the rule is.
Right.
But the problem is, I don't view that Jacksonville play as much different from that. It's hard. The key was with Jesse James when his hand turned backwards. They're not going to say, "Oh, you had a
bigger
pin,"
thing
but
that goes against what you just said is that it was happening at the goal line. I think that throws a wrinkle into it. Because,
no, that's true.
Once you cross the line, isn't that a touchdown?
Not if you're a receiver, only if you're a runner.
Right, but that doesn't make any sense.
I know.
So,
and it's different if he's catching it while standing in the end zone versus trying to go in, which that makes even less sense.
Yeah,
which I get. And that's the part where they're like, oh well, if it's applied the same all throughout, then what's the issue? Well, that's the issue. It's not being applied the same all throughout, and that is the issue. But I have no problem with the way that works. Also, real quick, I see this, and I'll add it on when we talk about this. But it's I have no problem with the way that was called in the Jags game. The Bills had their chances. They had 1st and goal from the 1 and had to kick a field goal.
Right.
So,
yeah. So quickly before we get to Panthers Saints, your dad just emailed in about Penn State and the NFL, and I love this stat when it comes up every year. And he says 11 former Penn State players had their teams in action during Wild Card Weekend in the NFL playoffs, and 12 have advanced to the divisional round because of people on a bye. So actually, we have one more Penn Stater playing next weekend than we did this weekend. And because one alum is on each of the 4 remaining NFC teams, the Nittany Lions are assured of having at least one former player in the Super Bowl for the 48th year in the 53-year history of the game being the Super Bowl.
that's pretty awesome.
So that is awesome. I do enjoy that stat every year. So thank you, Jeff, for sending that in.
When Tennessee iced the game yesterday, there's video of one of the, I think, linebackers running over to the bench, and Tim Shaw was sitting on the bench and yells something like, "This one was for you, Tim," or something like that, or "This is for you." Yeah. That was really cool. He was actually with the honorary captain at one of the Penn State games towards the end of the season this year. Again, really cool.
Very cool
experience.
stuff.
If you don't know that story, you can look it up. But it's pretty cool. So
yeah. So, Panthers Saints, we'll pick it up here in the fourth quarter. Saints were winning, looking really good. Panthers hung around and fought back admirably, but Drew Brees and the Saints were able to get it done. It was a tough one. It's tough to beat a team 3 times, though. I mean, that's what the Saints and Panthers are doing.
Statistically speaking, in this format of the playoffs, it happens more often than it doesn't. When
Really?
the team, yes. And I was shocked. I think it might have happened 12 times, and like 8 times the team has won the third. Like it's crazy. Like, because yes, you would agree. Generally you're like there's no chance. But I think some of those probably like you look at like the Patriots may have swept somebody in or the 1 seed and play them later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Drew Brees. This Saints team is good. They are really good.
They're balanced. That's
yeah.
the problem
Well,
for opponents.
Right. And they've got good defense, and they're young. Like somebody talked about, Michael Thomas has like 195 receptions for over 2,300 yards in his first 2 years. The only person to ever do it.
Really?
Yeah. He has the most receptions and yards over his first 2 years than anyone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Too bad he can't play with Drew Brees his entire career.
Yeah, I know. He wants him to keep getting there. So
what a move by Christian McCaffrey.
yeah.
Man.
Oh,
What
and
a
he takes it
find
to the
he
house.
is.
Yes. It was interesting. Someone said, they're like this. People are going to think I'm trying to knock him, and I'm not. But they're like, who would have thought that, like coming into the year, that Christian McCaffrey would be more of the Reggie Bush type player, and Alvin Kamara would be more of what they expected Christian McCaffrey to be. They're like,
Yeah.
He's like, I know people are going to take this as me knocking Christian McCaffrey, and I'm not. Like, I'm trying to say, like, it's just not what the way
Christian
it worked
McCaffrey
out.
had a great year. It's just Alvin Kamara had a better
Exactly,
year.
and that's what the guy was trying to say. Like, it's just different. But yeah, so
So, is this a controversial interception, non-interception?
I don't know.
Yeah,
There's no way that's an interception by the rule.
Didn't have control.
I guess they gave it to him.
So Panthers had the ball. See, I missed the end of the game.
So did I.
Didn't see.
So did I.
We
We were going through the nighttime routine / struggle that is bedtime.
on the struggle bus.
Yes. All aboard.
Thread the
Wow.
needle.
So I'm actually really enthralled because I did not know
Yeah,
it
like-
came down to like the Panthers having the ball inside the 30.
the 30 with 50 seconds
By the
to
way,
play. Oh, you forced it.
If I had to
You
bet,
didn't need to do that.
if I had to bet on who could throw the ball the
Oh.
furthest in the NFL, like I would bet it would be Cam Newton. The way he the way he throws the ball with ease, like just on a rope,
Yeah, he just
35
no
yards.
effort.
Like
It seems like there's no
right.
effort.
It looks like he's throwing batting
Oh,
practice.
jeez.
Uh-oh. Oh, that was 4th down.
Yeah.
You gotta
there's
throw it.
4 seconds left.
You
Dude,
gotta throw it.
The ball got to him and the guys were on him already.
Right, I know, but I mean, even if he throws the pick, like, just, yeah.
So that how it ends for the
Cool
Saints.
moment at the beginning. Reggie Bush led the team onto the field wearing a Will Smith, not the
I understand.
Fresh Prince.
Former
but- yes.
former defensive end
Yeah.
from Ohio State.
So that was kind of a cool moment for the Saints there.
So, well, that is the NFL regular season and wild card weekend recapped. Really quickly here, we'll pull up the schedule for.
I know the Eagles are like the 4:30.
Yeah,
game
they
on
are.
Saturday,
That's the only one I knew, so I wanted to pull up.
which is my dad's birthday, and he said all he wants is an Eagles win for his birthday. Yeah, the way to set the bar really high, Dad.
So it will be Saturday the 13th, 4:35. Falcons at Eagles.
I hope they deliver.
First game of the divisional round will be the Eagles. Then the Titans at Patriots will be the late game at 8:15. Sunday will complete the AFC Championship matchup with the winner of Jaguars Steelers playing the winner of Titans Patriots, and then the late afternoon game, early evening game will be the final component of the NFC Championship game, the winner of Saints Vikings.
I kind of view this as me talking myself into the fact that 3 of these are going to be good games, and they won't. And then the last one I think will be a good game. So
2 of these games are intriguing, 2 of them are not.
yes,
And the ones that are not are in the AFC. Because I don't think there's any way that the Titans or Jaguars win next week. Although if one was going to win, it would be the Jaguars.
right. But I look at it, I'm like, I don't like. Yes, the Patriots are the world beaters. Like I know that, but like, I don't think it's impossible for the Titans to win.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just
but
saying
like,
it's very unlikely.
There's no way. Right. There's no way the Patriots lose that game. Like, it's just not going to
Not
happen.
after all they just gave you bulletin board
Right,
material. Motivation is there.
Right.
Not the Titans, like
Right. No, I know.
just
I know.
everyone else.
Yeah. And that's why they're going to win it. And
that's why they're going to win the Super Bowl again, and we're all just going to be scratching our heads like, why do we even care? Why do we even keep doing this?
It is the definition of winning cures all. Right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All the time. So next episode will be next week, episode 251. Crazy, we're up to 250 episodes.
That's nuts.
We're closing in on 7 years of the show. Started getting ready to kick off season 8, or year 8 of the show around Valentine's Day. So we're honing in on a decade here. We're getting closer and closer. So, yeah, 251 will be next Sunday, 8:30, Sunday the 14th. We'll talk about the divisional round games and preview the AFC and NFC championship games that will get to that Final Four. Make sure you visit jmnjrradio.com and follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook. A belated birthday shout-out to my sister who turned 30 just a few days ago. And
good job with the Facebook post there.
You like that?
I was entertained.
I think it went over some people's heads. Others said I was mean. It was all in good fun. I eventually posted a sincere one. So.
Right, which is why it was okay. Like,
right.
If that was the only post you made.
Right,
yeah,
if I didn't acknowledge it
kind
at
of a jerk
all.
move.
Yeah,
but,
totally.
Yeah, no.
I thought about it, you know.
Absolutely, which is why it's funny.
Exactly. So, yeah, and best of luck to my wife starting a new job tomorrow.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's
you
awesome.
know, I know there's some nerves there, but I know she's going to kill it. I know she's going to be very happy once she gets situated.
You know, use the Justin Raffoff handbook of, calm, cool, collected all the time.
Always. That is you. When someone says Justin Raffoff, those are the first 3 words that come to mind.
Block out, as I know the Eagles are going to struggle next week, and as I am still anxious and frustrated over something that has no real meaning to my life.
So any shout-outs from you? Anything to add?
Just happy birthday to my dad coming up this week. So,
yeah. And I know you're hoping to be very happy when we talk next Sunday night.
Gosh. I'll be ecstatic. Like, honestly, that's where the bar is. Like, the bar this year is win one. Just win one.
Win one, and you're in the final 2 in your conference.
Right. Just win one, and then you know what? That's kind of you've exceeded the playoff expectation as of now because they're underdogs in this game.
They're underdogs.
Started as 2. A lot of people think it'll get bet up to like 4 because all the money's going in on the Falcons right now.
I know
which I love. I love that. Like, what more could you ask for if you're the Eagles? Like, you have this home game. Everybody, like, nationally is going to be like, you don't have a chance. You don't have a chance. Nick Foles is terrible. Like, good. Everybody talk like that, and then win. You get them here. I hope it doesn't warm up this weekend.
I was going to say, you want it to be freezing, but I think it's supposed to be warmer.
Yeah, but...
the Eagles earned this by being the best team in the NFC during the regular season, but they definitely lucked out having to play the Falcons and not the Saints or the Vikings.
Right, and while, like, people are like, oh, man, I'm scared of the Falcons. I'm like, yeah, but, like, you watch that Saints game today, like, I want nothing to do with that team.
Yeah.
Like,
until
you would have to.
The best thing for Philadelphia played out. You wanted Atlanta to beat LA because you knew that you'd have the Falcons then. And not that the Falcons are bad.
No.
They're the defending NFC champions.
Right.
But the Saints and Vikings are playing better overall over the course of the season than the Falcons were.
Absolutely.
And you get them at home, which you earned. The Eagles earned that. So
yeah, we'll see.
For your sake,
you can prove your dad wrong and win one.
For your sake, nice. I hope Foles plays like the first week he played and not the final 2 weeks.
And the defense plays like the last couple weeks that they played, and they'll be good.
So,
but just put it all together and have everybody play their best game this week, and they'll be fine.
I'm looking forward to unfortunately, Patriots against the Steelers in the AFC, and I'm going to say this does not mean this is what I'm picking.
No,
but I think right now I'm leaning. I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt to the supposed best team in the NFC, and I'm gonna say Eagles Vikings.
Ooh.
So now that's chalk technically by seed. In both conferences, but I think that's played out a lot over the last few years.
Yeah.
And it could be tough this year because of Wentz not being there, and the Eagles could be one and done.
Yeah, again, not saying it's what I pick, but I'll say Eagles Saints. I'm going to say Eagles
Vikings Saints is very intriguing to me. I'm very interested
I'm going
in
to
that.
say Steelers Patriots. Like, how can you pick against either one of those teams? And here's another point to go back to that Kansas City game. I guarantee you Le'Veon Bell will end up with more than 11 carries against the Jaguars, who have a much better run defense than the Titans do.
Yeah.
You know, so
I hope for some good games. I know you want one blowout in your favor, but I just want some good games. We don't always get that, and it's disappointing.
No,
But most of them, I mean, Bills Jaguars was boring, but it was close. Chiefs Titans was great.
Right.
Panthers Saints was good. Falcons Rams had its moments. So I hope we have another good weekend next weekend as well. All right, so thanks for joining us. This wraps up the 250th episode of the Joe Mays and J-Raff Show.
we hope you tune in every Sunday for our take on sports. Until next time, I'm J-Raff.
And I'm Joe Mays. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to the Joe Mays and J-Raff Show. Tune in every Sunday for the latest sports discussions from Joe and Justin. Each episode is available live
on Facebook Live.
and can be downloaded or streamed on iTunes and SoundCloud. You can interact with Joe and Justin on Facebook and Twitter, and stay up to date with the guys at joemaysandjraff.com. The Joe Mays and J-Raff Show is part of the JMNJR Radio Network. For more info, visit jmnjrradio.com.